Hello students and welcome to week 3 of Writing and Critical Thinking. Uh, I would first like to briefly recap week 2. Discussion went well. I will get those graded as soon as possible. Please check my notes on that feedback to see where any corrections might need to be made for discussion. I will also grade the assignments by the end of the week. I'll get to those as soon as I can and get you some solid feedback on those assignments. So this week, we've got a pretty big week, a pretty important week when it comes to our material and our assignments. So this week we're going to be looking at our first breadth area, the science description breadth area. And this is the breadth area that explores several methodologies. It'll tie into how your research paper kind of formulates. Most of you will be familiar with this process. So a basic understanding of science and technology enhances a person's ability to function effectively in a variety of responsibilities at home, at work, and as a citizen and participant in society. So that is what the science and description breadth area is meant to do. So this is a breadth area for facts and looking at how things work together in a structured and orderly way. This week we're gonna explore a few things: how to think scientifically, critical thinking. We're gonna look at Bloom's taxonomy, so kind of a step-by-step approach as to how to develop a research question and how to cognitively think about any question at hand, but particularly for this week's assignment. So you'll review this material and you'll use it to help formulate your research paper. So I'll touch on that here in a little bit. But basically what the science description breadth area says is this: in the world of science, thinking is focused and the method of finding answers is strictly followed. Facts, evidence, and data are collected in precise ways in order to find similar results in following the same methodology. So in math, for instance, which is one of the disciplines in science and description, there's one answer for a problem. So that is kind of the cognitive path we're going to take here. This isn't going to be like our art expression or our social civic. This is a very finite and scientific pragmatic approach to finding an answer to a question. So you're going to review, what is scientific research? I mentioned Bloom's taxonomy, critical thinking, so we have a few videos and a few articles this week. I do expect you to read those and watch those videos. They should help you find a clear path to develop your research question. Okay. So the research paper and citation methodology is what we're going to be looking at as the major tool for this week. And you're going to continue to come back to this week's information throughout the term and probably throughout your time as a student, because you're going to continually be writing larger research papers probably in most of your classes. So developing those skills now and kind of playing and testing with them and me giving you feedback should help you with that process. So we have two things to do this week. One is an informal assessment, and this is not worth any points, but it is important to do. And I'll post another video later this week about how to use the library, the online library, to find articles. So first, the informal assessment. I want you to familiarize yourself with Ottawa's online library. To do so, please find 2 peer-reviewed articles, not just the abstracts, that relate to your topic and your research question. I'll say this now, and I'll continue to say it throughout the term. I will not accept websites and Googled articles, things like that. We need to really focus in on peer-reviewed and scholarly journals. And as we go through this process, when you turn in your reference list, I might mention, hey, you don't have enough scholarly journals or peer-reviewed articles. Now, once you meet that requirement, yes, you can use, let's say you're doing something scientific, WebMD.com for some research material, but we got to get the requirements met before we do things like that. So you will be expected to use these resources in your research process, not only this term, but most likely in all of your terms. But for the main assignment this week, your formal assessment is to develop a research question. So this is what your final project is going to be. So I want it to be something that's important to you, something that you want to research and either learn more about. Maybe you already know quite a bit about it. Maybe you don't. But a solid research question that falls in only 2 of the breadth areas, either science description or social civic. Okay, those are what you need to be focused on for your research. Now, in the weekly materials, there is going to be some good information, a step-by-step process that is laid out there. So it's going to ask you to answer some questions. It's right at the bottom of when you click on week 3 on the left-hand side of Blackboard. At the very bottom, it says develop a research question. So it says work through these steps below to narrow a topic and identify a research question that can be supported by evidence from scholarly journals. So you're going to identify your topic. Then you got step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, 5, and 6, conclusion. So this needs to be about 2 to 3 pages, and it's very straightforward. But I want you to follow those steps. Okay, don't deviate from what's laid out. This is a tried and true way to get you to the right spot. Okay. The requirements for the paper are also listed. Like I said, 2 to 3 pages in length. There's no formal cover page or anything like that this week. But I really want you to dive into what your topic is going to be and why it's important, and how you're going to basically answer your question. Okay. Other than that, I will see you in discussion, and I will get everything graded as quickly as I can. I hope you're all enjoying the course, and I think we'll just go from there. If you need anything, you know how to contact me. Email, phone, Twitter, LinkedIn, however you prefer. Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good week.